Wrecking ball or punching bag, whatever you prefer. He's been both tonight. Takes a fair bit of poke damage now, but it's looking for the back line. It's Kai, looking a little vulnerable there. Quickly forming ranks with the rest of his teammates.
And Fate just kind of forces his positioning. They're going to actually get rid of Void on the high ground.
If you look at the very sort of origins of computer history itself, it is filled with references to video games and the inclusion of video games. Video games were very important for technology in general from the very origins of it. But with esports, again, this is something that has been a part of my life from a very early time, but we never called it esports. It was just competitive gaming. And so it has only gotten far more popular, far more relevant, far more visible.
You have individual plays that people can make. That translates over to video games and in basketball. Like you could have your star player that always goes for like the three-point lineups and like the half-court shots and makes those to like clutch out around for your team. And same thing in video games where you get like these really gifted players that can just carry a team fight.
Video games are really good at helping kids learn communication, being more confident in themselves.
It's their overall character. That's the biggest thing, and how they perform at a team, how they handle stressful situations when they're faced against an obstacle or when they're almost about to lose, or even when they do lose, how do they respond to that?
I mean, we're talking about like a $1 billion industry. Some of these games are larger than some traditional sports nowadays, and people are filling stadiums for it, millions of viewers online.
The entertainment side of esports is bigger than music and movies combined now. So to funnel it into just gaming really does it a disservice, because esports has grown to be this just massive subset of pop culture and entertainment.
There are a lot of investment capital flowing into esports because of the competitive nature.
This idea of Hawaii being central now to the discussion of global esports is a reality. People are looking to Hawaii now as a premier location, right? Just along with LA, with Seattle, with Texas, Paris and Berlin. These are proper esports hubs. If you look to Asia Pacific, now we have Hawaii.
We have 51 public libraries in the state of Hawaii. I think that they're great libraries, but they're underutilized. They have some of the fastest broadband connectivity in each of the communities that they're in. And just imagine if we can create these esports hubs in public libraries, maybe one day even 51 of them, although that might be a little challenging. But if we could do that, we have this vision that public libraries can become tremendous community centers of young people and other individuals interested in esports to congregate and challenge one another and do something that'll be great for their future careers.
So I think it's important for libraries, particularly public libraries, to have access to esports for the community, because it's this growing profession, but it's not only a growing profession, it's an educational opportunity. Technology is driving how we read, how we look for information. It's changing the way we do all those things. So in order for libraries to be able to continue to support communities, we have to keep evolving with the technology so that we can continue to support people.
We're providing exposure and access to the wider community about ways that they could lean into technology or develop skill sets or explore what it means to have a career in technology or what those careers exactly are.
We can upskill a workforce using game development because it's fun and exciting, it's going to keep you engaged. But the reality is that there's a $1 trillion opportunity to use your skill set globally. And so we actually have students here in Hawaii who started off as bartenders and hospitality workers, hotel shift workers, that went through our program and within 120 days became software engineers working for mainland companies, doing things from virtual reality to games, earning salaries north of $85,000 a year.
I was the top spot in my restaurant, and I couldn't progress anymore after that. It's just, you kind of go in there, make your money, and go. Whereas now I've kind of opened the doors to a new career where I can look forward to moving up in the ranks and already having a higher base salary than I was making bartending. So it's been a really good transition for me.
It's not as tough as one might think to get into software development. One of the things game dev does really well is they just take you from zero and they start teaching you really simple stuff, and they just sneak it in there one at a time, and before you know it, you're like, oh, okay, I kind of understand how to do this and that now.
I firmly believe that that next step into bringing it into the mainstream for our communities is, well, putting it in our communities. Aside from having school teams, we need to be letting the everyday person have access. That's the key. There's making it accessible to everybody, so they aren't only just hearing about the video games, but they can participate in it. They can be a part of that community actively. And I think the true initiative with the libraries is kind of an unprecedented next step here in Hawaii, for sure.
So the potential on esports, going ahead in the future for the state of Hawaii, anything is possible. This is something that's going to become very community-centric, give a lot of the young people in those areas an opportunity to hone in on esports, on the esports opportunity. And the way I see it, I think we have a really good shot at really making a name in the esports arena here globally as well.